We now turn our attention to the United Kingdom's business ties with the GCC region, of course against the backdrop of Brexit. Rosie Lees-Thompson has more on how commercial links, trade relations and investment flows could be affected in this new era.
With the ink drying on the Brexit divorce papers from the EU, for the first time since 1973, the UK is free to negotiate its own trade deals. And for many Britons, the Middle East is looking like an exciting new investment arena. Chris Doyle, director of a non-profit organisation working towards UK Middle East policy, believes that Britain will be capitalising on well-established ties to generate PACs.
Britain has always had an historic relationship with GCC states. It was, aside from Saudi Arabia, the colonial power or the protector of these states. And we trade off that, those links, those ties that are very deep. And I think that there will just be lots of efforts to remind them that although we've had a very bumpy 12 to 18 months in Britain, that now we're open for business and that Britain is back in the game.
The problem is bilateral trade agreements can take years to negotiate. But many countries in the Middle East have relatively low barriers to trade. So despite no official free trade deals, many businesses find it easy to operate. Outside the European Union, the GCC is the UK's second largest export market behind the US. Last year, the total trade in goods and services accounted for $54.8 billion, according to British government figures.
There are sectors going forward, things like tech, things like healthcare, things like automation and transportation, that are going to drive the way communities and countries evolve. And the UK is keen to partner with the Middle East and the Gulf as it embarks on that same journey.
With the hopes of developing this relationship further, in 2018, the British government established a dedicated UK export finance team in Dubai.
We have more than £30 billion worth of financial support available for projects in this region. And the reason we do that is not only to provide funding support to the respective countries, but it also allows UK companies providing goods and services to get involved in projects they might not ordinarily get involved in.
With the pressure on to make Brexit a success, the UK government launched a global campaign aimed at wooing foreign trade partners. Ministers and diplomats have been energetically creating opportunities for UK companies. Last year, Solar Water joined the UK's trade mission to Saudi Arabia. And 9 months after entering the world market, the British company has signed multi-million-dollar contracts with Saudi Arabia and Jordan. Using technology, Solar Water distills seawater into fresh water.
UK technology has been recognised by the Middle East as something that can be extremely helpful to their economies thriving and their communities thriving.
But the clock is ticking on how many trade pacts the UK can make before she leaves the EU's customs union on December 31st, with some viewing the number as a measure of her future success or failure.